Welcome in everybody to another episode of the Fighting for Overtime podcast. As always, I'm your host, Coach Tony. Make sure you're following on all social formats and obviously wherever you get your podcast from. Tonight, another stellar and great guest. Listen, I tell you all the time, I bring the best. And if you remember, we had assistant coach Vicky on last year, and now in season 3, we have coach Brea Ferraro. She's the 14U head coach of Lions Fastpitch and recently anointed president. What are you getting yourself into? But again, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I throw it in there because you told me, oh, by the way, I'm president. I was like,
oh yeah,
ooh,
just add it to the plate.
yeah, what the hell, right? What the hell, man? So listen, Vicky was amazing.
Yeah.
So again, you got big shoes to fill.
I do.
I do.
Yeah,
you do.
I do.
But you know what? It's great because I see how heavily you are involved in everything, and you are, to me, you are like the perfect guest because you've seen it as a player, coach, and now as a president, you're getting to see it all, right? You're getting to see it all. So let's just go back and again, let's talk about the journey because I always like to know when you first start playing and during that time, did you ever think I'm going to be a coach one day?
No.
A lot of people. That's why I love to bring it because a lot of people don't even think they are.
No, I never even thought it was in the cards to be coaching and running a team and running a league, and not the league that I started at. Never.
So that's where you started.
Yeah, my dad created it when I was young. I think he created the league in 2003.
Okay.
That's when it was officially like Lions Fastpitch. But before then, I think it was a few years, we were called the Bristol Bullets.
Wow.
And that's where I started. And then before that, my sister played.
Okay.
So my dad and my grandfather coached my sister, and they were the Silver Bullets. And it was like, my sister's 38. If she listens to us and I got that wrong, just know that I didn't say you were 40.
Yeah, what's wrong with 40? Start it out there.
She gets very mad.
Okay? Giving me a complex here.
She actually coaches with me now too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
wow, family affair.
Yeah, we're all involved. So I got to watch her play, and they were the Silver Bullets, and travel back then was not what it was now. So like, I don't think it was ever like in an official league.
Okay.
And then it just kind of evolved from there as we continued to play.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your dad involved today?
Yeah. I drug him back in.
You did. Good job, Dad. Listen, you are you daddy's girl?
Yeah.
So, or one of them, right? Are you only child?
No, I have a sister and a brother.
Okay, so you're one of daddy's girl.
I'm the youngest.
You're definitely daddy's girl.
I'm the youngest.
Yeah, you're definitely dad. So he's like, okay, bro, yeah, we got this, right?
Yeah. I told him that I wanted to get back involved, and I saw that the organization was looking for coaches because he stepped away probably when I was 19 or 20.
Okay.
And left it to some guys that he even started it with. They finished out after a few years ago. It changed hands a few times, and then I saw that they were looking for coaches.
Okay.
I was already coaching rec at that time, and I was like, I'm looking for more advanced.
Be more competitive.
More commitment from the players. I want them. I'm tired of having practices where 4 girls show up.
Yes.
I want the girls to be here. So I was like, I'm going to go and see if I can put a team together. And he was like, okay. He was like, yeah, that would be cool. And he just kind of left it. And then as I started coaching, he started showing up to practices, and he built those fields.
Wow.
So he's like, oh, I got that. I could fix that. And then he started to do my books, and he keeps my scorebook, and he helps at practices. And he's like, oh, I'm just involved a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Just a little bit. He's all in. That is all in, man. Oh, that's awesome, though. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Knowing he was a coach growing up, did you ever kind of look at him? And even though you say you didn't think you would coach, but I can learn some things off of him.
I think looking back, that's never your thought. I'm just there to play.
Right.
But as I have grown into coaching, I do find myself very much using his style. He never yelled. He never was downgrading. He never coached in that way.
Okay.
He was always kind, and he always made everything a lesson. But you also knew when he meant business. And I definitely bring that to the team. The girls will joke, and I have a look. And I'll just look at them and they're like, oops, sorry. And like, they'll continue to do what they're supposed to do. And I call it the mom look because I don't know what else to give it.
Okay.
But it's what I take to them. I don't yell at them. I don't want to yell. Yelling takes a lot of effort. I want them to listen to me and not shut down. So I like to just communicate and talk to them like they're kids and 14-year-old players.
No, it's not. Listen, there's nothing. And I've had this with a lot of guests because I've coached softball and I've coached soccer.
Yeah.
Softball, girls, soccer, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different dynamic.
100%.
On a soccer field, you couldn't get me shut up. I was screaming. I was berating kids. And again, I had my own kids on the team, and it's like, I didn't know how to be any other way. That's how I was as a parent. Like I expected a lot, demanded a lot. Girls, it was like, okay, approach is a little different.
Yeah.
It's that stern, kind of powerful look like you speak of. But if you yell too much or number one, it gets emotional sometimes, right? And number two, they just shut down.
Yeah.
So I did learn that. I had to learn how to adjust and pivot, but I know exactly what you said. It's funny you say look because a lot of people tell me I can give you, like people would always say, Tone, you're the only dude I know can say F you with your look. And I'm like, yeah, dude. Like it's a very good.
It's a talent.
Yeah, exactly. I've worked on that and I'm proud of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just kind of I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, sorry, my bad. I'm like, okay.
They know, definitely. Now looking back, how would you say, because I love this question, from the time you played to the time now, the evolution of the game of softball?
I feel like the game itself hasn't changed a whole lot. I mean, like there's been some, like the obstruction rule, I think has changed many times, the home plate obstruction rule. And I don't think anybody understands it.
Every time rules like that change, nobody ever does.
And I think it's different depending on who's umping the game. So good luck.
Yep.
But technology has changed. Your composite bats are better. The ball is coming off faster.
Yes.
When I hit 16U, it's when the face masks came in.
Yes, I remember that.
And I remember always fighting about it. I wouldn't wear it to pitch, but I would wear it at first base. And I used to give my mom a heart attack because she was like, you won't wear it on the mound. You're closer, but you're wearing it at first base. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I can't have it on my face.
Well, it's a comfort thing.
Yeah. But now almost all my girls wear one.
Yep.
And rightfully so. I mean, looking at some of these bat reviews, these balls are coming off at like 70 plus miles per hour. They're not that far away from the ball.
No.
So like the reaction time has to be quicker, and your face is important.
Yes.
So in Game Changer.
Now that came in after I was out, but that's a whole new element.
That's new. Like it's new to me.
Okay.
I am a little old school. I make somebody else do Game Changer. My dad does my books.
Okay.
And then I have another assistant coach who does Game Changer.
But that's smart though.
Yeah.
Because it's hard for you to focus on everything.
And they sit together.
Yep.
And they go over what they're doing. And it's really easy for me to yell, hey, where did she go with this? And I got two people who are going to give me an answer.
Oh, you're already ahead of the game.
I am. But it's nice because it allows people to watch the games. I have even sat at home with my dad, okay, and put on our games to review it.
Okay.
To go over maybe like what he saw something different than I saw. And we'll put it on so we can review something that maybe we should go over at practice. But if we saw it differently, we kind of got to talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah. It keeps stats, which is kind of nice. But yeah, no, I still make them keep a regular book.
No, listen, I don't blame you. That wasn't involved when I was in softball, but my last years in soccer, it came, I forget the name of it, but it was the same thing. It wasn't a Game Changer. It was a different kind of app, but all the kids wore bands.
Okay.
And they had like hot zones and cold zones, and it recorded the entire game.
That's pretty cool.
And it chopped up all their highlights. It gave them a reel to send the like, it was insane. Like it was just next level.
The only thing I dislike about Game Changer is like, I want to know where the batter hit the ball. And on the book, you can put a dot like right exactly where it went.
Okay.
Where like in Game Changer, it will say like, oh, it made it to left field. But in reality, it went through the gap of your infield. So
that's good to know.
I need to know, like, am I moving my fielders over, or did she hit a high pop to the outfield?
Exactly.
That makes a difference to me.
Oh yeah.
So that's where I like don't love Game Changer, because I want to know exactly what happened.
No, I love it. That's a very meticulous approach, and it's very important.
Yeah.
And sometimes technology is great. I get it, but it also has its limitations.
It does.
I completely agree. It's funny you talk about the bats, because that's what always was when I was probably my last like 3 years, the composite double barrel bats start coming out.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm watching these balls come on. I'm like, wow. Like, it is insane. You just hear that nick.
Yes.
Like, that's it.
And it just goes.
And you got that third baseman coming up and playing 5 feet off the plate.
Uh-huh.
And you don't want to wear a mitt. No.
Mm-mm.
I mean, so I completely agree. Now, if I recall, I think they made it. Is it still mandatory to wear the masks?
No.
Now, see, when I was playing, it was mandatory. They had to wear the masks.
I think it might be mandatory.
The entire infield.
I think it's mandatory in some rec leagues.
Okay.
And like the younger ages.
Okay.
But they're not required to wear it.
I'd be like,
I do prefer them to wear it.
Yeah.
I do have a few girls that have never worn one, and I'm like, are you positive?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I know.
Do you want to borrow one?
I know. It just takes one. I mean,
One
not
ball.
everything can be rebuilt.
No. Mm-mm.
I mean, that's, oof, man. You're right, though, man. I'm trying to think of the bat manufacturer that everybody, like, was the most popular bat back then. But when it came out, it was just like, it was, no pun intended, a game changer.
Yeah.
It really was. Now, at youth level, you kind of mentioned, so I kind of have a feeling of where you're going to go with this. Wins and losses matter, but development, obviously, confidence probably matter even more.
Yeah.
What does building confidence in a young athlete look like today, in your opinion?
So I think it starts at practice. I'm really big on also celebrating their really big moments, even at practice. A good catch, a good throw, a good stop, even if it's something we've been working on and they finally got it.
Yep.
I think it starts there. Like, not only do you want to instruct, but you also want to focus on the things that they did good. Even we had practice on Monday, and I had a girl who's also recovering from a shoulder injury. So she's back at it. She was out all fall. She could hit, but she couldn't play on the field.
Okay.
So officially during the winter, she's allowed to be back at practices. And she made an amazing stop at practice. And everybody just was like, hey, and like in support, coaches, players, and everybody was just so excited. And I think that's important, not only from like your coaches, but your teammates. Like, you need to support each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's funny. I've the ending of my show is always, it's not about wins and losses, about memories of moments.
Yes.
I always taught my kids, listen, you're not going to remember the medal or the trophy. No. You're going to remember the memory or the moment. And, and there's so many different moments in my head. Like my daughter talks about, my players talk about, I'm like, that's what you remember.
Yeah.
And I think if more kids would just focus on that. I had one of my, not my former player, but a former player, Noelle, was on here. She's a basketball player. And I always ask everybody, I always try to pick out somebody's in their interview. You don't even know you're saying it, but something that you say that really sticks with us. And hers was she said she wished she would have celebrated her wins more. And I said, and I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I would get so down on myself. Like, whether we lost or I made a bad play, but wins not just from a game standpoint, but wins as like moments. Like I won that play. So I never really looked at it until I was done, because I was so focused on what was next.
Right.
And I think that's a big deal now.
And I think celebrating those moments are huge. I have one that sticks out. It was actually in the fall season.
Okay.
One of my starters, she's my starter center fielder. Amazing hitter. She's already had a few home runs on the season.
Nice.
And on Saturday struggled, and you could tell it was really affecting her. On Sunday, we spent about 10 minutes before the game really breaking down her swing and just talking through it all. She got up and she hit 2 home runs back to back. And after the second home run, everybody celebrated, and both times she was first batter in the inning. So just off the bat,
Wow.
2 home runs in the same spot.
What a feeling.
Yeah. And after that last home run, we got into the dugout and she ran up to me and she like just grabbed me and was like, yeah. And I'm like, see, like I told you, all you had to do is get confident and being up there and taking it a pitch at a time. And it was like, it still sticks with me because she was so excited.
And you remember that.
Yeah.
See, that's what I think. And I say this to everybody. Like if you're uncommitted on should I be a coach, should not be a coach, and you have the ability to do it, you got to do it.
You have to do it. Yeah.
Because of because I have so many of those moments that I legitimately, I'm not ashamed to say, I could sit down here and I could start thinking and I could get teared up just thinking of those moments.
Yep.
You know, whether they're my kids or I always say my kids, but everybody I coach, I call my kids. So like any one of my kids had that moment. It's like, wow, I can remember that, you know, and it's exactly what you said.
Yeah, it's funny. I call them my girls because I'm going to be 32. So
I wish. I'm jealous.
So some of the parents are not much older than me.
Yep.
So I call them my girls because some of them like definitely look at me as like not only a coach, but like an older sister. They want to tell me about school. They want to tell me about their homework. They want to tell me what's happening on and with their friendships and boys. And they want advice. And it's just nice to have that. So it's funny because that's what I call them.
You create that bond, man.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I said, I'll never forget it. It was like, it was a quick turnaround too. So I start coaching softball when my daughter was 9 and we had the same girls for the most part, probably about like 75% of the same girls for like 9 years.
Yeah.
So that right to all the way we got to 18U. But it was funny from, I think it was like from 10U, and I'm older, so bear with me. So the conversations on the bench were like about Hannah Montana and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then 12U, all of a sudden, I'm hearing like boy talking. I'm like, whoa.
Like, no,
what happened?
No.
Yeah, like what happened? And it was so funny because I was that guy. Like we would have practice, and all of a sudden I start to see these boys showing up. Watch, I say, yo, what are you doing here? Yo, get lost, get out. Like, no, we're not doing that. You know what I mean? Like, I'll never forget. Like, what happened to my girl?
We have we have a few that bring their boyfriends, and I'm superstitious, very superstitious, and I'm like not 3 times. Like,
oh, real?
Oh, like the one girl, it's a joke because she's superstitious too. She has a block of wood that she carries in her bag just in case there's no wood in the dugout.
Really?
So you can knock on wood 3 times, like if something happens.
Check that out.
And we were playing a tournament, and the girl brought her boyfriend, and he hasn't come before. I said, if we don't play good, he's never allowed to come
because
again.
he has never been here.
He's never been here. Like he's never allowed to come again.
Oh my God, that's too funny. I've remembered those kind of scenarios too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny. That now speaking of that, knowing about all that, let's talk about like mental toughness, because I think that's one of that's something that I don't know if do you think it can be taught? Do you think you have it? Do you think it can be worked on? Maybe.
I think it can be worked on.
Okay.
This is definitely an aspect of coaching that I struggled with.
Okay.
As a player, I didn't struggle with like making an error and getting over it. It was all right, next one. And that was never taught to me. So definitely coming into this coaching era, that's a little bit more nowadays. And I definitely have sat down with my coaches and we have like talked about things for them to do.
Okay.
And I try to have them either like have a personal word or action that can help them just reset in their mind to then go to the next play. Because I always tell them, if you don't move past it, 9 times out of 10, the ball's coming to you again. It's going to find you.
Oh, yeah.
Until you can make that clean play. It is going to find you over and over again.
It's got an X on it, right, for you, man. Definitely. It's so weird how the baseball or softball gods work.
It just knows. It just knows. And I know. I feel like it's something that you were always working on. You have good days, bad days. I try to remind them that they are people and this is just a game. It is just, at the end of the day, it's just a game. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose.
Yep.
So we can't beat ourselves up over that one mistake.
So true. I love it. I loved it because I used to do the same thing. It was like, everybody would get so down. I'm like, guys, listen to me. At the end of the day, tomorrow you're gonna wake up and everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're still going to go play your video game.
Yep.
You're still going to go hang with your boys.
Yep.
Like nothing's going to change.
No, and that's it. I really saw it at nationals last year. High stress environment.
Yep.
We were in a tough game and I could see it. And I just started saying to him, it's a game. Like we're going to start again in 2 weeks. And they ended up finishing 9th in nationals. And I'm like, you did amazing.
Yeah, like well, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong. Like, I'm like, you guys don't understand how great you did. And a lot of my girls, it was the first time at a national.
Oh, that's even better. So
I'm like, the first time in this high pressure environment, teams from all over, and you finished 9th.
Yep.
Like it's a game. You're allowed to be stressed out and you're allowed to be frustrated. But at the end of the day, you're just gonna keep moving.
I think you think a lot of that frustration is, and I know we kind of talked off air, but kind of the pressure, not just from their parents, but just society. It's like there's so much pressure nowadays to be great.
I also noticed there's a lot of like fear of judgment.
Yes, that's a good one.
What they look like doing something. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, well, I don't want to look dumb. You don't. Just play the sport.
Right, exactly.
You don't look dumb playing the sport. You're playing it. No one cares what you look like when you fielded that ball. We just care that you fielded it and made that throw cleanly.
Yep.
So I do see that a lot.
I think a lot of that is just society. Social media is a big deal.
Especially with girls.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I raised one. I mean, I get it. Everything's image and everything's the way. And now more than ever. And I hate to say this, but as I'm a really positive person, but there's people just so mean and cruel.
Yes.
Especially kids. Like I don't remember kids being that mean and cruel back in the day.
I don't either.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I like, and I've seen like some things, like even when I was coaching in off dark room chats, and like I'm like, what are you guys serious?
Yeah.
Like, and that's I mean, that's something me or you can't solve, but unfortunately, it's a part, and I think that's what plays into a lot of this.
It does, and I try to tell my girls that to keep open communication.
Yep.
If something is happening with someone on the team, they have to tell us or we don't know.
You're right.
And if we don't know, we can't address it because I don't tolerate that. I don't do good with drama. I've never done good with drama. On this field, you are a team.
Yep.
And that's how it needs to be. I'm not asking you guys to hang out every weekend. But I'm also asking you to respect each other and like each other and support each other.
That's key. You don't have to be best friends.
No.
At the end of the day, you're teammates.
Yeah.
And you have one goal, right? And that's, I think that kind of is nowadays probably maybe that's one of the hardest things is, and I'll ask, how do you get everybody to buy into one goal, right? Because now with all the, and I know you're not involved in this because it's not school, but like the whole NIL thing and these opportunities, everybody wants third to stand out and they want to be the person.
Yeah.
And they feel like if the spotlight's not on me, but I'll be honest, man, I still think you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I still think there's a spot for the team first player that I think that scouts will look at and be like, I like her attitude.
I tell my girls all the time, I have some girls who definitely want to play in college and some who don't. And I think that's totally fine, but they still have to play for each other.
Yep.
And I tell my girls that your attitude will either make or break you. A college coach will say, she's talented, but I didn't like how she supported her team. I don't like how she acted after she struck out. Maybe your teammate's a little less talented, but she walked off the field with her head held high when she struck out. You were being watched.
Yes.
And you have to keep it together.
You're right. And I'm a big body language person.
Me too.
And and it's like I would teach these kids. I'm like, yo, man, your body language says it all.
Yeah.
People are looking at that. I look at it in the pros. Like I've always said that, like, we're just doing sports talk. I'm like, I will get my back up in a crawl just by watching a specific player with their body. I'm like, he don't care.
Like, you look irritated.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't understand. Like, you say this to sport you love, although you look like you could care less playing it.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
It is.
That's
It
a
is.
big deal.
We always talk about body language, and that's a game changer, right?
Yep.
We can have a whole chat, and we were doing weekly prompts.
Okay.
And having the girls write just a couple sentences about things. It's about body language, about how they can be a better teammate. What did you do at practice? What do you think you can improve on? It also helps with their mental health because now they're thinking about the game. But it also kind of relates to, them learning their own body language and their expressions and how it affects them and honestly your teammates.
Yeah. No, I listen, I love it. I think it's an evolving conversation.
Yeah.
And obviously you guys have a really good handle on it. And I think a lot of teams, they got to learn from that because it's a problem. Now, here's a really good one, right? And again, it's the way youth sports have changed over recent years. Sports specialization, right?
Yeah.
One, are they specializing too early in one sport?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. Softball is the only sport I'm good at.
Okay.
It's the only thing I have coordination at.
I don't know why. Your niche.
We tried basketball, we tried soccer, and it was just
it didn't work.
Absolutely not. Okay. But I don't, if this is the sport that they love and they want to focus on, I don't see anything's wrong with that.
I agree.
I do have other girls who play soccer, volleyball, and ultimate frisbee.
Frisbee?
Yeah, on a rec level.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. She came to me and she was like, "Oh my
God, I love
signed up for ultimate frisbee." I was like, "You signed up for what?"
Oh my God, I love that.
I was like, I didn't
even know that was a thing.
I didn't know they had teams.
Wow.
Yeah, and she loves it.
Okay.
And they just play it on more of a rec level so they can play softball on the more competitive level. And I think that's totally fine as well.
Yes, I agree. I was a very big advocate. And I think, and that's why a lot of kids came to play for me because right away they would be like, "Coach, I just want to know I play basketball." And I'm like, "Good."
Okay.
They're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I encourage it because, I've had a lot of other coaches on too. And they say that, and what I love about it, say the same thing. Each coach or each sport gives you different, different movements of your body, right?
Yeah.
It works your muscles a different way.
It does.
And it also allows you to still enjoy what you want to do.
Yes.
And I've been on the record for saying this. I've started this podcast because I want to raise awareness. I want people to listen to this, and whether it be a parent, a student, an athlete, and be like, "Oh, well, like they can." It's not that we're telling them what to do, but it's like kind of raising awareness to say, like, if something like this comes along, they kind of know how to react, know what to expect.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to change it. But one thing I fell into the mantra, right? I fully admit it. That one thing I'll always regret is my daughter was a cheerleader and she was a softball player.
Yeah.
And she was my first kid. So I didn't understand youth sports. And I thought she had to specialize. And I made her give up cheerleading.
Okay.
I didn't make her give it up. Let me rephrase that. But she came to me and she said, "If I had to pick one, which one do you think I should pick?" And I just watching what she did, and I'm going to be chauvinistic here. It's my own fault. I didn't respect cheerleading at that time.
It wasn't very viewed as a sport,
right? But
it definitely is.
I know, and that's my fault. That's me being an idiot and not realizing how much work that they put into it.
Yeah.
And I would, I was like, it's got to be softball. You're really good. You had this opportunity. This and that. And she ultimately chose softball. And I do feel bad because she was a guest on my show, and I kind of feel bad because I think that she looks at it and regrets it a little bit. Doesn't she had great times?
Yeah.
But I look at now like you could have done both.
Yeah.
And not to say she just could have done both. And I don't know why. Because I fell into the trap thinking like my kid's got to be in this and with this trainer and play for this team. And now I look at it and go, "You idiot."
Yeah.
And I think that's normal.
And I think it maybe nowadays is a little harder to be in multiple sports sometimes because
I agree with
softball,
that.
you're right. Pitching practice 2 times a week. If you're a pitcher, you have a pitching lesson. If you're a catcher, you have a catching lesson. Many girls are in an additional hitting coach or additional fielding. So sometimes it's hard to maintain that.
You're
But I
right.
do, whether they want to specialize in one sport, I'm about it. If they want to play this sport in another, I'm also about it. And I just have them be honest, because then it talks about practices,
Yes.
right? Because I still need you to make practices. I still need you to practice with your team, learn our plays, learn what I expect on the field. But even my one girl who plays soccer, she was like, hey, I've missed the last 4 soccer practices. Do you mind if I miss Monday? And I'm like, go.
Yep.
You're not going to miss anything we haven't already done. But
Right.
thank you for communicating it.
Exactly.
Like,
no, I totally. It's funny. The way I approached it, and I approached it with, I had same thing, soccer and softball, and I would tell the girls, listen, this is what I would expect. This is my own opinion. Fall, soccer comes first. Spring, softball comes first, because that was the when we played, that was a season. Like, fall was the big time soccer season,
yeah,
and spring was big time softball. Fall ball was like, at that time, I was like, I would just say, make that your priority, and that's kind of what they did.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can do that now.
If fall, like for softball, fall is just as important.
It wasn't
as your spring and summer. It is one whole season. And now you have these domes that you can play inside.
Oh, I still love the domes.
Yeah. We didn't play inside this year. We had some injuries that I wanted some girls to heal from. But next year we've talked about it.
Loved it.
And then me and Vicky actually got the chance to coach in the U-Trip All-Star event.
Okay.
And that was in a dome up in Wilkes-Barre. I'm
it used to be the Pocono Dome, and they rebranded it right there off the turnpike.
Yeah, and we had 4 girls.
So nice in there.
Yeah, we had 4 girls in it. So it was, at least those 4 got to experience it. Me and her got to experience the dome.
Yep.
So that was nice. But yeah, so now it's like, you don't even, when do they take that break?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. That was my biggest challenge as a coach, was the break.
Yeah.
And I used to tell families, listen, I need you to commit. I purposely, whether it was right or wrong, I said, when our spring season in soccer ended, which was usually like the first week or second week of June, I said, see you in August. Like, what do you mean? I was like, we are not doing anything. Like, this is family time, vacation time. Like, we've done enough. Like, I can't, you can't commit for 12 months a year. You have to have downtime.
You have to have some downtime.
So that was kind of like our downtime. And then holidays too. Like, I was like, holiday is important to me. Like, once Thanksgiving comes around, like, see you after the new year.
Yes,
like,
that's exactly what we do.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. I guess, like, after so summer season ends July, August.
Okay.
You have all your tryouts happening at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
Another thing. Tryouts have gotten earlier and earlier. Teams are holding tryouts before we even get the nationals.
They're in a race.
Yes. And
that's all it is.
And it's like, how are you holding tryouts before nationals, but you almost, as much as I don't agree with it, you almost have to fall into it.
I know.
Because you're missing out.
You're missing it.
You're missing it.
I know.
And so after nationals and you put your team together for the next season, I give them at least a week off.
Okay, that's good.
And then just enough time to decompress. Some of them go on vacations. I know one of our girls has a cruise planned August 8th. They're out.
They know. They already got that. They're ready, man.
They're out. Yeah. So I always give them a break. And then fall season, November, we'll practice a few times, like after our last fall game.
Okay.
But you lose light and it's cold.
Yep.
It's cold.
Yep.
So I give them all. I think we stopped this season, like second week of November, we stopped practicing.
Okay.
And they head off all the way to January.
Okay.
I think we started inside the second week of January.
And that's great.
Yeah.
People need that.
Yeah. It was
the parents need that.
I needed
the coach. That's the thing. It's not just about the kids. It's about everybody involved.
Yeah.
And I used to say that all the time. So now I'm happy to hear that somebody else is thinking logically like that too.
We all need a break.
No, I agree. Now, here's another good one, because obviously we just talked about pressure from outside sources. Do you see pressure from nobody specific, but just in general, from parents that are really impacting?
Yeah.
And does it happen to where they just throw them completely off their game?
Yes. Afraid to make a mistake because they're afraid of hearing the criticism instead of using it as a teaching moment. I definitely think that affects their mental game and how they recover from the mistake. It can make them not want to enjoy to be there. Why would you want to be somewhere that if you make a mistake, you're going to get yelled at for it?
Exactly.
And that's not fun.
No.
No.
It's not what it's supposed to be about. And I will be honest, and I've always been honest that it took me time to learn that. Like I hate to say, I love him to death, but we always laughed. My son was on his birthday, and he was probably 10 years old. And it might have been younger, it might have been 8 or 9, but he was in goal, and I signed us up for this indoor soccer tournament, way above our level. Should never done it. And
you live and you learn.
I threw him in net. And I like berated him, like to the point, ripped him out of net in the middle on his birthday. He was in tears. I was like, you need to find somewhere else to go home with. Like, I was so mad. Like, and I was like, dude, what is wrong with me? But like I'll admit I was wrong, but it took somebody that coached me. It's like, yo, man, I'm just being your friend.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, yeah, dude, I can't believe, because in the moment I didn't even realize I was being like that.
Yeah.
And I think that was a teachable moment for myself to be like, holy crap, man. Like, all right, I gotta relax. Like I gotta pull this in. So I think that's just a human thing, but you have to be willing to work on it.
Yeah. And as a coach, I mean, I always tell the girls, when they're out in their field and I'm yelling out things on the field, I'm not yelling at them. It's my only way to communicate with you because you can't hear me.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to tell you what I need, it's going to come off as yelling. But I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling to communicate.
Yes.
But I've definitely had moments where I've pulled them in and I've been like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I've
been there.
What is happening?
Yep. I've been there.
But I've never yelled. I mean, I've definitely, as a kid and my dad being my coach, I've gotten to the car and he's been like, well, that was rough.
That's funny.
And I'm like, yeah, that was rough. He's like, that wasn't your best outing. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
We have this. It's funny you say with dad. I gotta find. There's a picture that comes up on my Facebook feed as a memory all the time of my daughter and me. And it's like her with her hands on her hips, giving me this dirty look, and me looking at her just like we want to kill each other, and like we're the best of friends. Yeah. But it's like on the field, it was always I was first base coach, and she'd be running like that. I don't want to hear. Like she already knew. I'm done. I don't want to hear you.
It's funny because I have a picture. My dad always was a third base coach.
Okay.
And I'm standing on third, hand on hip.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's talking to me, but he looks like he's being aggressive, and I'm sure he's not. Like in the picture, and I'm like my hands on my hip. I'm like, and he's talking.
Oh my God.
And I'm sure he's going over what is happening. I'm sure he had a trick up his sleeve. He always has a trick up his sleeve.
Yeah.
He still has a trick up his sleeve. I'll be at third base, and he'd be like, Brea.
Yeah.
Brea.
Yeah.
Come here.
I love it. I love it.
He's like, I have an idea.
I like it. He's like a mad scientist.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is, well, it's funny what you just said. When you're looking and you think that he's the way he's just by, what you see.
What it looks like.
Right. Well, the funny thing is, and I tell this story all the time, but you haven't heard, so I got to tell it to you. So when my daughter played for Southampton, and then the coach kind of left, and because he had other opportunities, and then we had to find somewhere else to play. And then we went to Warminster, and then I wound up during the Southampton regime. We always had a rivalry with Northampton.
Okay.
And the third base coach for Northampton, I'm bad with this. Like, I could go by somebody's look like, I don't like that dude. Right? So I'm being honest. Like, I am so bad with that, right?
I'm like, eh.
Yeah. So I would sit there and I'd watch, and every time my daughter played third base, so I would watch him talk to mine. I'm like, what is he saying to her? Like, right? All the time. Like, dude, I bet you he's giving her a bunch of shit like for years. Like, I was like, I don't like this guy. Right. So the funny thing was, after everything happened, 4 years later, I'm like, Taylor, where are we going to play? Like, where do you want to play? And she was like, she's like, what about Northampton? I was like, Northampton. That's where I was like, there's no way you're playing for Frank, right? She's like, Dad, why don't you like Frank? I'm like, because all that crap he was giving me. She's like, Dad, all he ever did was compliment me. I'm like, really? I'm like, I thought the whole
moment,
right. I thought the whole time thinking this guy's a complete JO, man. Like for real. Like I don't like this guy at all. So it's so funny because I sent him an email and we laughed about it.
Yeah.
He's like, don't you hate me? I was like, yeah, I did. And I figured it out. I was bad. It was bad judgment.
I judge.
Yeah, we're good now. And next thing you know, we came really close. I went up coaching with them.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, you two are together? Like, because I just constantly said I couldn't stand this guy. And here was the nice guy in the world.
And it's in the moment.
I know. It was so bad. It was so bad.
And I find myself doing the girls will get the third and like, you good? And I'm like, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm watching the first baseman. I'm watching the third baseman. I'm watching how this one moves. I'm thinking it's just my thinking face. I'm sorry. Everything's fine.
It's so funny, man. It's so funny. You look back at those things, it just makes you laugh.
It does. Yeah.
It does. Makes you laugh. Now, one of the biggest things that we've always talked about is the burnout conversation.
Yeah.
And I think it's getting more and more prevalent as time goes on. Kids are playing more games, they're traveling more.
Yep.
Right. Sometimes it feels like it's a job. And right. And so do you see, not necessarily on your team, obviously, but just, as you've played and you've talked to other players, and have you seen that burnout happen?
Yeah. It's like you said, it comes off as a job. And they tend to forget that life is happening around softball. We always should say softball is life because it overtakes, and not always is a bad thing. Right. But if you don't take those breaks and you don't take that time to go to the football game and you don't take time to go to that dance and also be a kid, then you start to resent your Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Softball.
Yes. I agree. And I've seen it on, so many different levels. Now, have you ever seen any warning signs of this starting to come about with anybody?
I feel like they start to look frustrated or irritated, or they're more, I guess, snippy at practice. And maybe not meaning to be, but they're in their own head. And they feel heavy, and they start to just lose interest and maybe start pulling away from like their teammates and their friends and just not involved in practices or games.
No, really. It's funny when you say snippy, and it kind of really lends relevance to the point of it being like a job, because I know myself, when I get snippy, it's probably because I'm burnt out. I'm doing too much.
I'm overwhelmed.
Yes.
Too many people are asking something of me at one time, and it's all urgent.
All the time. Now, what role would you say, whether yourself or other coaches should kind of play in trying to protect these kids from the burnout?
I think we always have to give a positive environment. And be that supportive, open communication. Let them vent about their stress. And I think us, even at practice, my goal is to also focus on them growing as a person. So you always want it to be a positive environment. And I think if they look forward to coming to practice because it's positive, that will help with the burnout. I know, us personally, I always try to end practice with a game.
Thank you. I love it. Yes.
We've played Simon Says.
It sounds so stupid, but it's so much fun.
It's so much fun.
Yes.
We do relay races to work on speed and agility, and that incorporates into softball, but they want to race each other. They want to race the fastest girl on the team. They want to beat her, and that's motivation. And then we've played tic-tac-toe. Yeah. We've played a version of Suey.
Okay. Yeah.
Which cracks me up because my girls had no idea what Suey was.
Dude, I can't believe you at 30 plus years old now. 32, you said?
32.
Know what Suey is.
My brother used to find great pleasure in pegging me so hard.
Oh, that was the best. Stand up against the wall.
And I joke around with him, and I was like, some of us have never been pegged with a tennis ball. It shows.
That's so awesome.
I'm like, we're not going to peg each other with the ball because I don't want to do that. But I make I have a pitch back net, and we'll play a knockout round on it. And I'm like, it's like Suey. If you miss the ball, you're out. I'm not going to make you run to the wall and touch it. We're not going to chuck the ball.
We're not chucking a softball at it.
But we'll make a different version of it.
Right.
We've played, I don't know, the circle game with the bats.
Okay.
They hold the bat and they all move to a side, and you have to catch the bat before it falls. And if the bat falls, you're out. And I have one girl who just slightly drags the bat with her, right? And everybody's always like, "You're cheating." And I'm like, is she though?
Or is it just strategy?
Or is she just being smart?
Yeah, exactly.
And like the one day she like looked back at me and smiled, and I was like,
yeah. The ultimate strategist.
They're like, everybody behind her is always out. And I was like, don't be behind her.
Yeah, exactly. Let's think about it. Now you need to be the strategist, right?
I'm like, yeah, you're fine.
That is so key. Oh my God. I and I got to give a shout out to one of my assistant coaches, Brett, who he was, listen, I knew my limitations at soccer. It was like when I got to a certain point, I was like, I'm a very good coach of young men, I would say. However, anybody can look at me and say, this dude ain't the biggest skilled soccer player. Okay. I did play soccer, but I didn't have all that,
Right.
So I needed somebody. And this guy was great with kids. He played in college. And he came in, he ran the drills, but his most important focus was we're always going to end on a game.
Yeah.
And he always had something. And shout out to him because the kids look forward to it all, because we would grind them for an hour and a half, but man, they couldn't wait for that final game. 15, 20 minutes. And they would just want to keep staying and play.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll give them options.
Yep.
What do we want to play?
Yeah.
Because it's fine with me. But if you want to pick, another good one is we do head, shoulders, knee, ball.
Okay.
So they're like on their knees and they have partners and a ball's in the middle.
Okay.
And I say head, shoulder, knees, head, shoulder, knee, ball.
Oh,
and they have whoever can get to the ball first wins.
I like that.
And then whoever didn't get to the ball is out.
Okay.
So then they just keep going until there's a winner.
I like
they do enjoy that one a lot. That one gets competitive.
Okay.
There's a lot of like everybody has the hand on the ball and we're like pulling back and forth.
And that's just bonding. That is such team bonding, man. I love it. I love that you've done that. Now, come from fun to a topic that's not so fun for parents. The cost of youth sports, right? And now you're seeing this as a president as well.
Yeah.
Another reality, unfortunately, for many families is, can I afford?
Yeah.
Can I afford? And I used to run into the issue when I was leading, and I would just be told off the numbers, and I'm like, damn, we're not paid coaches. Like, this has nothing about us.
Right.
This is just to get you on the field.
Yeah.
And back then, I mean, I was remembering anywhere between like $800 to $1,200 per tournament. Is it around the same?
So it definitely has increased a lot. Wow. And the new thing is that umpire fees aren't included.
Oh, they're not included?
No, they're not included in the tournaments.
Come on.
So now, when you play these like U-Trip or USA, like these sanctioned tournaments, it's $70 or $80 per game. Per team.
And that's now you're only paying one umpire?
Yes. You sometimes it's two, like I'd pay one, they pay one.
Okay.
But it's still, you play 3 games on a Saturday, and then if you're playing multiple games on a Sunday,
I mean, you're talking like $500 in ump fees
on top of what the tournament cost us.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then some facilities charge you for parking.
I've heard that, and I can't believe that.
Yeah. Saturday and Sunday parking.
Now,
you have to pay both days.
All right, this is what this is my opinion on this, and tell me if you agree. And again, please, if you don't, if we're talking about a facility like Diamond Nation over in Jersey, or like a high class, to where you have pristine public bathrooms and not porta potties, and it's very well established. You want to charge me $5 to park or something, and it's going towards that. Okay. However, if you're going to charge me 5, 10, whatever it is, and I got Uncle Joe's porta potties and I got shit parking everywhere, nah, then it's just a money grab.
Yes and no, because there is a facility that we play at. I'm not going to say the name of it.
That's fine.
And it's beautiful.
Okay.
Has like 6 fields, and they do have regular bathrooms, except for they overflow and get clogged all the time because there's easily over 1,000 people here. So you can charge me $5 for parking, but your toilet's clogged.
Right. Now that's different. That's what I'm saying. Like
Like,
if you can explain to me what this money's going to,
mhm.
because again, you're going to a field. That's not helping an organization.
No.
That's what would piss
No,
me
it's a
off.
complex that is like owned. And
Right.
a team definitely plays out of it, but it's not like it's like a league, and it's a huge complex so that like U-Trip uses it.
Yep. I know.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The paying for parking, man,
Yeah.
is and I think that's one of the biggest problems I have with youth sports now is it's all becoming a money grab.
It
Like,
is.
you know, I legitimately started this podcast to number one, it's a passion project for me.
Mhm.
I enjoy the conversation. I the amount of messages that I get from people that say they've listened to me, a guest, a show, and say it's helped them, you know, vent. It's helped them be
Yeah.
like, you know what? Wow, like this can happen. Like, is great. And what pisses me off is I see these now. Everybody wants their hand in the youth sports wagon,
Yes.
and it's all for the wrong reasons. It's not for the right reasons. And I just feel like it's going to spiral. It's going to continue, and it sucks.
It's going to spiral.
It's a shame.
You get one unhappy parent, which right, you're not going to please everybody.
Right. Never will.
But then I can start my own organization.
Yep.
And now you have 20 organizations in this little span.
Yep.
And then you have organizations that, like us, like we've been around for 20 plus years. We've always been tiny, but we've always maintained 6 to 8 teams until COVID. And obviously everybody took a hit after COVID.
Everybody.
And after COVID, it's been a steady like 2 teams. So we're actively still trying to grow, which was a big part of me taking president. Trying to add teams and grow and want to bring the organization back to where it was when I played. But when you have 7 organizations all in one area, it's hard.
Very hard.
It's hard.
Very hard.
Yeah.
Now do you worry that because you were seeing this firsthand that this is limiting opportunities for some kids because of the money?
Yeah.
That's what sucks.
I mean, you have organizations that are over $5,000 to play for. And I've just from the grapevine from people who have played for these organizations, that doesn't include their uniforms.
That's insane.
So I've had parents say, you know, like I then have to pay $400 out for uniforms. And I'm like, well, then what did the $5,000? Like, where did that money go?
Right. Like, what is it for?
What is it for? Because we do our best to keep it as low as possible. I try to only charge what we are going to spend.
Right.
I mean, which sometimes kinds of runs into things. Sometimes I put money out of pocket, but I feel as like a volunteer coach that happens anyway.
Unfortunately,
like
it's part of the game.
It's part of the game. And so it definitely, I see it affecting kids because the more organizations pop up and the more they charge, you're going to have kids who can't afford to play for them. So that like my goal is to keep everything as low as possible because you're going to have really talented kids that maybe can't afford it. And that's okay. We want to give them that opportunity to play at the same level these other organizations are playing at for triple or double the price.
I know. It's
insane.
It really is. And I don't even, and that's what, like, it was always that hard conversation.
Yeah.
When I would talk to the parents that were having problems, and I said, listen, I'm being 100% transparent. This is just the call. Like I'm unfortunate. I can't control it.
Right.
You know, now, we did, because we were a much bigger one. I will give a shout out. So when I was coaching soccer, I coached for Warminster, and because we had a very big organization, and we had the Perlini tournament, which was a huge Labor Day tournament, we ran, and we got all the proceeds from that, and we put that directly back into the club. We were able to give scholarships to kids, awesome. But they weren't unlimited. Right. But however, not every organization can do that.
Right.
And then you start talking, oh, well, we'll fundraise. I get it. It's not as easy as everybody thinks.
No, and it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
We do a lot of fundraising.
Because you have to.
We have to. Like, I have spent my nights making a gift card calendar so that we can sell, like, have a gift card raffle. And that was a really big hit, by the way. Like,
Gift card raffle. That's
yeah, my
interesting.
parents are asking to do it again.
Okay.
Like, each day we did it for November.
Okay.
And each day of November was a different gift card.
So like you just pulled a number.
I pulled the girls had to sell 10 tickets that
Okay.
covered the cost of the gift cards.
Okay.
And then anything they sold above that, they got the profit from selling the ticket.
Okay.
So every day I pulled a name out of a bucket, and the winner of that day won that $20 gift card.
Oh, damn, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a different idea.
Yeah. It was.
It's almost like that lottery thing. Maybe the old school that you would get a lottery number every day or something.
I had a girl sell 50 tickets.
Wow. And how much were the tickets?
$10.
Yeah. See that you can't see now that's I enjoy that. Like to me, that's because honestly, most people are gonna buy, but I'll be honest with you, probably half the people are probably at least gonna buy two. They're gonna say $20.
Yep.
Like, you know, it's just a good number. You know what I mean?
$20 to maybe win $20.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's and now the only problem I always had back then was we weren't as creative as that. It was always like the normal block pools and this and that.
And we've done them too.
Right. And they work.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was sometimes I felt like it was the parents were just buying into it anyway. Like,
yes,
at the, you know, it's like we're not even selling it. We're like, so I got to the point where I said to the parents the one year, I said, because everybody was kind of complaining about fun. We did like a beer wall, we did all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And it was cool, like it worked, but it was a lot of work. So I would say to them, listen, here's the deal. We can either up the tuition by $100 this year for each player, or we could fundraise. What would you guys rather do? And they were all like, we'll do the 100. Like, and I'm not saying everybody could do that, but it was like, listen, you know, because to me, that was like, at that time, it's soccer. I'm carrying 22 kids.
Wow.
So, you know, that's, you know, you're talking an extra $2,200. That's 2 tournaments at least. Right. Well, soccer was actually 800. So that would give me 3 tournaments. That paid for a whole season tournament.
Yeah.
So people were like, oh, yeah, I'll do that. And that ever since that's what everybody wanted to do. So I just added it in to the fee.
Yeah.
But not
everybody can.
Not just that. Softball, I think, is more expensive right now.
It is expensive.
So and the equipment, we haven't even talked about that.
A bucket of balls, a good bucket of balls. And I personally love me some dream seams, and I think that comes from being a pitcher.
Yeah, I was going to say you were a pitcher. That's why
they don't need a dream seam to practice.
Oh my God, that's funny.
But even like a decent bucket of a ball, like Rollins, it's like $90 for a bucket of balls.
And that stuff when we were going, we just took for granted. Like, just ball. What's a ball? Who cares?
And like, we're lucky enough to have like a shed, and we have our own batting cage, and we have pitching machines. And to realize now that I'm older how expensive those pitching machines are sitting in there, I'm like, be careful with it.
I know, it's crazy.
Be careful as you roll it out.
We never knew.
No,
we never knew.
No, we
never knew. And field maintenance. I mean, there's so much. Even the line that we use for the lines.
Field.
Yes, I mean it's funny as you get older and you get more involved, from a player to a coach to a board member. You're like, holy crap!
Oh my God. Luckily, my dad likes to do field maintenance.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
And there he is volunteering.
I wanted to meet your dad one day. Your dad sounds awesome, man.
I'll be showing up to practice. My dad's already on the lawnmower.
Oh, that's I love that. I love that. That I like that already, man. I like that already. That's great. Now, speaking of dad, he's a volunteer.
He is.
Where would youth sports be without volunteers?
There wouldn't be, especially our nonprofit organizations. And even your rec leagues or your in-house leagues, they're all run on volunteers.
Yep.
If I didn't have my coaching staff or even my board, we're all volunteers. We don't get paid to be here. We're all here because we love the sport and we want to be here. And if that didn't exist, the organization wouldn't exist.
Do you feel it's getting tougher and tougher?
Yeah. I feel like even coaching, like the stigma of a parent coach. And I know some people look down on it, but my dad was my coach my whole life. And I feel I was a better player because of it. And I didn't get handouts. My dad was actually harder on me than everybody else. My mom tells me stories now of her yelling at him because she's like, what are you doing?
Yep.
Like, she is putting in 10 times the effort than anybody else here. And look how you're treating her.
Yep.
And he's like, well, she's my kid. I need her to be the top to step on the field because I am his daughter.
Yep.
So I feel like that made my work ethic even better.
I have to agree. That's always been as being a dad coach.
Yeah.
I hated that daddy ball persona.
I can't. I see it. I see
right.
where it has happened.
I agree.
hate it.
I agree.
But I don't like the assumption that just because it is a parent coach, that's what it is.
Yes. I totally agree. Because the people that were always my advocates are like, do you see him with his kid? Like that I feel bad for that kid. Like in a way that, because I was just like your dad. Like I would have conversations. I said, listen, guys, I hate to tell you, but being a coach's kid sucks.
It was,
in a way, it sucks.
Yeah.
You are going to get the short end of the stick.
I can't tell you how many times I've cried and still was pitching the ball because I was at pitching practice because me and him were arguing.
Yes.
And just for the fact that I was his kid and you fight with your parent.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. You got that. Like there was a different dynamic. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And like, I mean, I was never in front of like the team.
Right.
Like,
right.
But like at pitching practice or pitching on my own,
some of those tournament home rides were interesting.
And that's what I'm saying. He never would like, he never yelled, but he'd be like, we need to work on.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
Yeah. He'd be like, this week at pitching.
Yep. No, I completely listen. I completely agree. And listen, you know, I always say this too. If you have such a problem, the people that have a problem with it, well, why don't you go do something about it?
Right.
Like, but that's always the biggest complainers are the ones that do the least amount of things.
Yes.
It's all the time, man. Like that's the one thing that always bothered me. Now, let's talk about your volunteering, because what made you step up to be president?
I wanted the organization to grow from where I saw it when I played. And I think just like a new board, new fresh eyes will allow us to do that. And even having my dad back, even though he says it's only 70% of the time, he grew this organization. So he has helped me with pointers and how to do things. And my new vice president is more like with the times now. Okay. So he brings great ideas. So it allowed me to step up as president, knowing that I had a great board behind me to help me grow the organization and advertise that, you know, we're looking for coaches, and it can be a parent coach. I'm okay with that. Allowing teams that maybe want to come over and play with our organization. So I just want to grow it and put together competitive softball teams that have always come through here. We have a full clubhouse upstairs that's full of trophies.
That's awesome.
That like no one gets to see because there's no windows. But like this organization has always been competitive. We've always put out great teams. When I played, we played in the ESPN Center in Florida.
That's a nice place.
Yeah. So like
that's a nice place.
And even after me, there was successful teams. And even the teams now, we won a tournament this year. We came in third. We won a tournament last year. The other team has won a few things. Like, so we have competitive, successful teams, but I feel like maybe we're overlooked because we are a small organization. And I want people to understand, like, the smaller organizations sometimes are the best organizations. Because we're smaller, we can keep those costs low. I offer payment plans. You don't need to pay me up front.
I used to do the same thing.
Yep. And I also like am very open to my parents. Like if you are having trouble this week, shoot me a text message. Let me know.
Yep.
Let me know you can only pay half. Okay. That's fine. And I think we need more of that. And I think I wanted to do that as I stepped up as president to show that like we can do this as a lower cost and build and still play competitive softball as these other organizations play. We end up in the same tournaments.
Yep.
In the same place.
In the
same amount of money.
Yes. I love it. I love it so much, and I know it's not a business, but I think you can relate to this as small business, right?
Yes.
A corporate world, small, you're going to get more reception from the small business than you are going to get from the corporate business.
Absolutely.
And what you just said is so key, because I did a very early episode in my first season, and I talked about a specific girl in this environment in the club that she very, very good. This is soccer, amazing stud. She wanted to go D1. She could have went D1. Like, simple. Like, she's that good.
Yeah.
She had multiple opportunities to play for the big clubs. That in soccer, go play for the Yukis, go play for the Nat. Like, no disrespect to those clubs. I'm just saying she had those opportunities. She decided not to. She said, I want to play with my friends.
Yeah.
And she did. And the funny thing is, she went to a Division II school. She got in. She got recruited. And guess who got recruited too? The girls who played for the big national teams.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who got recruited less? The girls who play for the big national teams. And I'm not saying that, but that's not against them. It's about, hey, listen, it's possible.
Right.
You don't always have to go to the big dog. If you want to, that's fine. Like, I don't listen. That's one thing I've always said, people, they get wrong about me. I am not putting down these big organizations.
Absolutely
if your
not.
kid plays for them,
great,
I
love
man.
that.
Like, I have no problem with that. That's what obviously you want to do.
Yeah.
My thing is to tell everybody, you don't have to chase that if you don't want to.
No.
And this girl proved that, and I loved it.
And I can relate to that. When I was 16, my dad was approached by a bigger organization and said, we want her.
Yep.
And I turned them down at first. And they said, we want her and she can bring a friend, any friend.
Interesting.
And we thought about it. And at the end of the day, I said, I want to play here, and I want to play with all of my friends, and I want to finish this out. And, we're at the tournament with the same teams, same showcase.
Yep.
And my dad was approached by a D3 school about me, a team that I didn't contact. They were there to watch a player on the other team. And I ended up not playing in college. It was a personal decision, maybe a little bit of burnout. But I decided that education was where I really needed to focus on. And I didn't know if I could have balanced
both.
It's
tough.
And at the end of the day, when I was playing, there was no professional softball. So after college, it was over.
It was, yeah.
So there was nothing to look forward to. So in my mind, it was, where do I focus? What I need to do for the rest of my life?
My career?
Yep. And maybe hopefully bring softball back into my life later. Or do I maybe put school on the back burner to play college softball to then have to figure out life after that? So it was a personal decision, but the same thing. I was still recruited at the same tournament as this other big organization, and verbally committed, viewed the school, and then just decided it wasn't the right fit. So you don't have to play for these big names.
Yep.
And nowadays, it's a lot on the player. Are you emailing the coaches? Are you asking for their camps? Are you asking where they are and what they want to see? Are you making your social media? Are you posting your videos? So it's not just about the organization anymore. They don't really care who you played for. If you're a good player, you're a good player. They're going to come see you.
Yeah.
If you're at the showcase, they're going to come see you.
I love, I had last season, I had a scout on.
Yeah.
And she was a scout for Scout U, and she said the same thing. She was like, I'm not here to say that you have to always look at Division I. Like, she even admitted, now she went D1 when she was a soccer player, and she said, admittedly, I regret not looking at the other opportunities because I just felt like D1 it had to be D1.
Yeah. And I feel like as you're little growing up, that's what you think.
Yes.
And even when I was meeting with the D3 school, she's like, you probably won't stay here. But I was also unsure if I wanted to play or not. So I didn't really recruit myself. I was like, if I go to a showcase and it happens, we'll check it out.
Right.
And then it happened, and I was like, wow, like, this is happening.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're going to start here. And they're like, you probably will not stay here. You'll probably move up. And then just the decision not to go, but it was the same thing. D1 is always everyone's option, but D2 and D3, even JUCO is just as amazing.
Yes, and that's another thing, like, with the rise of JUCO too.
Yeah.
Like, people look like these are all opportunities to play.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
And just because you don't play doesn't make you any less talented than the girls who have played.
Yep. No, I love it because it really embodies every belief that I have. So it's just nice to hear somebody else have those same beliefs. It really is. Now, as we wind down, the biggest thing I want to talk about. Let's talk about the Lady Lions culture, man.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Lady Lions and what makes the Lady Lions in your mind, that program, so special.
I think us being smaller makes us special because we're able to give like that family like feel. It's busy, but you do get your time on the fields. And I think us with being small and being volunteers, like we talked about the cost, we get to keep it low, and I get to keep it affordable for the girls that can play and want that experience, but maybe can't afford those big organizations. And that's fine. I want those girls because I tend to find out like those girls want to be here more. And they want to play for this little organization. And not that we're little, right? We've been around for a long time, but being smaller, I think, helps us be more special and more welcoming.
Now, we probably touched on this in variations, but what would you say? What core values do you emphasize with your team?
I always want them to be kind with each other and others. Good sportsmanship. Just as an example, I had our nationals last year. Again, it was a tough game. It was our game. We ended up losing and getting eliminated in the championship, but it was like our 6th game for the whole series. And my one girl was up to bat and she was so frustrated. And the catcher of the other team was crying. And she said, in that moment, she goes, I realized this at bat didn't matter. She goes, and the girl behind me is crying. And she hit the ball. She got the first base. She called timeout and told the catcher to go get a drink and gave her a hug.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I was like, that is everything that I want these girls to present and who they are and how they represent themselves, the team, and the organization. Because at the end of the day, they wear it across their chest.
Yep.
And it was perfect. She didn't know this girl. We've never come in contact. They weren't even in the same hotel. And she was like, I couldn't let her do that. She was like, it was hot. And she was like, she was upset. She's like, that's not it. And I loved every moment of it.
Listen, man, that's a credit to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm just knowing you through this conversation, like earlier, you kind of even mentioned stuff like it's just a game.
It's just a game.
And I think that they embody that, man. Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, yeah, do you want to win? Of course.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's just a game.
Exactly.
Here we are, because we're gonna play another.
Yes.
And then we're gonna play another and another and another.
That's now that I love it. That is fantastic. Now, what do you want your players to take away from their time in the program?
That they had fun and that we were supportive of them and personal growth, not only on the field, but as young women and as they grow and go through life. I want them to take away that they had support from the coaches and their teammates.
I love it. That's important.
It is.
It's very, very, very important. Now, what's a great season look like to you?
It's not wins and losses. It definitely goes beyond that. I like to look at each game individually. They could have won and played great. Amazing. But what did we learn from that? Or the losses? I also feel like you learn a little bit more from losing. So how did they play? Were they defeated? And we need to work on our confidence and bouncing back and that mental toughness. Or did we play an amazing game and they left it all on the field and we just lost? And to me, that's a great game because that shows your toughness and your battle and your grit to be here on the field. So I like to take happy moments from each game. Okay. And to me, that's what a great season is. Home runs, great hits, strikeouts, amazing plays, catching a ball that is in a no man's land that you ran your hardest for. Those are things that I want to focus on with them in a great season.
I love it. You definitely learn more from the losses than you do
Yeah.
from the wins. Listen, it's like in life, you get told no. I mean, how many times have I been told no? It's just like waiting for the next yes, and
Right.
it made me learn from that, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same. Listen, I love it. Now we close this out. We're gonna have a little fun lightning
Okay.
round. I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. It's just fun, little rapid fire fun set. I ask you 5 questions.
Okay.
All right. So, and they're all softball related. Favorite softball memory as a player?
I pitched a no-hitter and hit a home run over center field fence in the same game.
Wow, no hitter.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
awesome. How old were you?
14.
Wow.
And then another player went and stole my home run ball because the umpire wouldn't give it.
Are you sure? Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh my
He was
God.
like, I got this for you.
That's awesome. That's a good moment. I
Yeah.
like that. Hardest position to play.
Definitely pitcher. And that might be a little biased, but
I don't disagree. That's a good one. If you could pick one walk-up song for you or your team, what would it be?
So for the team, I would have to say Bring 'Em Out by T.I.
Oh, I like that.
Personally, it would be Fireman by Lil Wayne.
Really?
Like the beginning.
You got the Wheezy going. All right, I got you.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. What do you say the most underrated softball skill is?
Bunting.
Wow, you are dead on with that. And the style of bunting, the drag, the oh my God.
Being able to place it perfectly, being able to be a sacrifice to get that squeeze bunt.
You wouldn't even think it's that hard, but
no, but it is.
I think it's harder in softball than baseball.
Oh, 100%.
People are like, "What?" I'm telling you, when you start getting on and they start throwing those screwballs and those rise balls,
drop balls,
and that is,
and the bunt size on it, and you know that no matter where this ball is, you're supposed to lay it because this girl's coming home.
Yep. No, I totally agree. Last one life lesson softball teaches kids.
Accountability.
I like that. I like that. Listen, this is you said you were nervous.
I was so nervous.
Hopefully, I alleviate that right from the get-go.
It was good.
This is great conversation, man. Again, so before we go, where can people follow Lady Lions to get involved with your league?
So we do have a Facebook page. Right now it's Low Bucks Lady Lions. Pretty soon it will just be Lions Fastpitch. And we recently made Instagram. Go Vicky. Vicky has taken over social media for me.
Go Vicky, Coach Vicky.
Because I just have a lot on my plate being head coach and president and a lot of things going on. So Vicky has taken over social media. So is my sister. Her name's Taryn. I don't think I've
Good job, Taryn.
I don't think I've ever given her a name here.
Shout out to Taryn, another social media manager.
She does help me with the team as well, but they have taken over social media for me.
Okay.
And they did talk about making a TikTok. I don't know who's dancing in the TikToks because it's not me.
Oh boy.
But they did kind of throw it around. So right now, Facebook is the main. There is an Instagram made, but there's no post right now because we just made it.
Okay.
And the girls have been asking for it. So I can only imagine what they want it for.
Oh my boy. Well, I will say I will make sure, like I always do, all your information will be in the description where people get the pod. They'll be able to click on it.
Yeah.
All the content will be tagged. But listen, Coach Brea, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
This was awesome.
Yeah, this was great.
A very, very, very insightful conversation. And I love it because you've kind of organically, without even knowing, you've embodied a lot of why I made this podcast. So I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it too.
So as always, everybody, again, we'll catch you next time. Memories and moments, like I always say, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll catch you back here next time.